Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at gadgets. Gadgets are a control heavy deck that are just a little bit away from becoming very good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. We were a set away from Gigant X at this point. Fortunately we do not have that, but we do have the Machina Engine to try to make up for that. Let me move this back just a little bit. There we go. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. So, the Gadget Engine is as follows. It's very standard. We have 2 green, 2 red, and 2 yellow. All the gadgets do is cycle themselves out. Green adds red, red adds yellow, and yellow adds green when they're normal summoned or special summoned. So it's always nice just to recur them. Constant recursion of machine monsters is always really good. I think 2 of each is the right number. I was playing 3 at first, but with the Machina Engine, it just proved to be a little too much. Now on to the Machina Engine, we have the 3 gear frame, the 3 fortress, and the single cannon. I'm playing cannon personally because I like it better than fortress or than force, because at least this one has utility unlike force. So, but what I was saying is this one has a bit more utility for you than force because it gets 800 attack for each card you send for its summon, and it still fulfills the level requirement for 2 revive fortress from your graveyard instead of the force, which you cannot summon because deck doesn't play Commander Covington. So like a lot of old lists would play this just as a free pitch to summon this. Also, but for those of you who may not know, this is Rhoda for the fortresses. And fortress is really cool. You can discard machine type monsters whose total level equal 8 or more to special summon this card. And he becomes a 2500 beater. Really good. Also remember, if you have a hand of like fortress plus gear frame, you can go discard and then summon the fortress. You don't have to discard 2 other cards in addition to summon the fortress. Fortress will count for his own level. And now we get into the hand trap portion. So we have the double Trigodia, the Gores, and then 2 copies of Maxi. Really standard. Being able to get more card advantage, especially with Maxi, is just so good. I prefer this over Effect Veiler in this deck specifically. Just for that reason, being able to get up on more card advantage than this deck can already do sometimes is just great. And then, of course, because your monsters sometimes just are not big and they can get wiped easily, unfortunately, at times, just being able to drop these guys is always very good. And that is it for our monster count. It is a very standard count that is pretty consistent through a lot of gadget decks, minus the cannon. But I do like this lineup. I recommend trying it out before you maybe make a lot of changes. One change that I do know people do consider is also playing the 3rd Maxi. And then I've also seen heavier gadget lineups, but I think 2 is still the most optimal number. So on to spells. We will begin with the 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Duality is just your consistency card because you do not special summon as often as you would think. In this deck, other than Fortress, you really don't special summon that often. Card is always nice just to dig for gadgets. Get your engine going to loop more gadgets, obviously. So the next we have the 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. Since I am not main decking the Heavy Storm, I am siding it. I still want back row outs for this deck, but I do not want to main the Heavy Storm because I am main decking a large number of trap cards in this deck. So I feel like it is very important that you do have the 3 MST for your pushes, but of course, if you would like to main deck the Heavy, no problem. You just have to be very careful with it. So the next spells, we just have like the one of power spells. So we have like Pot of Avarice, Reborn, and Dark Hole. And then the last one, which is some lists play it, some do not, is the limiter removal. I really like limiter removal in this deck specifically because I play the Machina Engine. Just being able to have a surprise 5k Machina Fortress is just so good. It just ends the game at times where like your opponent will never expect it. Plus, the first time you resolve it, especially if it's in a game 1, it means your opponent will have to respect it the rest of the way. Because I've noticed in playing this format, opponents do not respect limiter removal, especially if they're playing against gadgets. So thumbs up. So onto the trap cards. This is a very standard trap package, I think, for a deck like this, other than this card, which not a lot of decks play, but we have the 2 Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain is one of those love-hate kind of cards in this format, where in some decks I really like it and in others I don't. This is one of the decks where I do like it. Just being able to stop something from hitting over a gadget's always good. Being able to stop a powerful monster from activating its effect is always good. Just a very good card nonetheless. Next we have another, I guess the final unorthodox card, I guess. Even though to me this card is pretty standard, we have 2 compulsory evacuation device. It's just to return a card from the field to your opponent's hand. And now the rest of it is just normal trap cards you will see everywhere. We have double bottomless, the double deprison, double torrential, double solemn warning, and solemn judgment to wrap up the trap card lineup. Just a really standard trap lineup minus the compulses and the Fiendish Chains, but still think it's a good trap count. So the extra deck for this deck is very different for some decks in this format because, we don't have Gear Gigant X, we don't have, this insane pool of broken rank 4s like we do for like Rabbit, with the with like Dalka and Logia, so we have to make some space. So in this deck, we're going to play a high count of number 39, Utopia. I'm playing 3. I really like Utopia in this deck. It's such an easy make as well. He's just going to be a 2500 beater. Never a bad card to have. Cannot complain here. Next, I play 2 copies of number C39, Utopia Ray. I've made 2 one time. It was a really weird game, but I just like having the second one just in case. Though you could cut the extra one for like a Gemini Pearl, because that is like the one card that I'm not playing in here. Next we have the 2 Photon Papal Imperative. Pretty good card as always. And then we have the 2 copies of Maystroke. We got 2 copies of Steel Swarm Roach to counteract high level stuff. And for the 1-ofs, we have Kachikochi Dragon, the Wind Up Zenmeister. And then we play 2 rank 7s because we have the Machina Fortresses. We play a Gaia Charger and a Big Eye. Number 11 Big Eye is a card that does exist in this format. It just does not see a ton of play. Most commonly known for its role in Dragon Ruler format. You can detach a material, target one monster your opponent controls, take control of it, but Big Eye cannot attack. Really good card. And yeah, that'll be it for this Gadget deck profile. Hope you did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section down below. Without anything else to say, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.